Well, let's go on and play some music. All right, with that being said, y'all can see the title of this episode, this live, whatever you want to call it. There's a video that came across my For You page on YouTube that looks like it might be interesting, worth checking out. So, y'all can see the title of this episode, this live, whatever you want to call it. Your boy, Karmelo Anthony, might be cooked. Um, so it says, the title of this episode says, Austin Metcalf update. Carmelo Anthony self-defense ruined by spokesman. Attorney speaks out. So I'm curious to see what this fat white dude is talking about on here. I'm gonna turn up the playback speed a little bit because this dude was kind of talking slow, and I'm gonna fall asleep listening to him. So, with that being said, let's get into it. We'll turn this down.
Before any of you all come over here and say, well, the Cadillac Escalade, they already had that for years. That's not the new car I'm talking about. I'm talking about the new car that was sitting in their driveway that the neighbor reported seeing. And of course, some of you all are going to say, they've been living in that house for a while. I'm not talking about that house. I'm talking about the new house that they plan on moving into. You see, the problem that a lot of you guys have is that you are following up with Carmelo Anthony's spokesman. A lot of people seem to think that he is Carmelo's lawyer. He is not Carmelo's lawyer. He is not Carmelo's lawyer. This is some random dude that came out of the woodwork and basically attached himself to this case. Okay? And since he attached himself to this case,
I bet you the only reason why he attached himself to the case is to get clout. I guarantee you, just so he could try to bring awareness to his little program thing that he has going on. And if y'all don't know, this dude is a known felon. I think he has like 10 different charges on his criminal record. Grand theft auto, I think abuse of a child, and some other things. I think assault. Crazy, bro. Crazy. So it's probably why this dude is on this case, is so he can get some clout. That would be my guess.
he has not only been steering you guys wrong, but he has been steering Carmelo's family wrong as well. And anyone who's ever been involved in one of these cases, ever covered one of these cases, or even ever followed one of these cases, they will tell you that this guy is bad news and he is making some horrible decisions for Carmelo Anthony's family. And it is not a good look at all. And the other problem you guys
Somebody edited a clown on him, bro. That is crazy.
have is you're following up with what Carmelo's family is saying in these press conferences instead of what they're saying in court. You see, Carmelo's family, they're coming out crying and playing victim in the press conferences because they want more donations, they want sympathy, they want their son to be painted out to be the victim, right? But what they're saying in the press conferences is much different than what they're saying in court. You know, at the press conference, they acted like it was, oh my God, it was just outlandish that anyone would suggest that they would spend this money on a house or a car or anything. They acted like it was just completely evil that anyone would even think that they would do such a thing. But in court, Carmelo's dad.
Let's read what this says. It says, Andrew said they wanted to preserve funds for Anthony's eventual trial, which would entail hiring their own experts. The money was also needed for the family to move to another home in or near Frisco.
And Carmelo's actual lawyer, not this little fake activist, but his
Andrew Anthony responded by saying the family didn't have access to the fundraising campaign because it was not initially started by them. Defense attorney Mike Howard wanted to clarify that even if the family did have the money to bond Carmelo out, there are a number of other expenses, including costs for defense and a possible move from their current living situation for security, to take into account. Anthony also shared that he is the sole provider for the household. Well, see, here's the thing. If it really was an act of self-defense, why would you have to move homes for security purposes?
Actual lawyer, both of them literally looked the judge.
Maybe I'm missing something. Who knows? Maybe I'm not. Who knows?
In the face and told the judge straight up that they plan on spending that donation money to move into a new house. And this is why To avoid legal troubles in the future, Karmelo's family has now had to update their donation website to let people know that, yeah, this is not just for legal defense anymore, folks. It's for anything we want. It literally lists transportation. What do you...
Let's see here. It's a screenshot of their Give, Send, Go fundraiser. It says, purpose of the fund. While legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. The funds raised will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have emerged as a result of the situation, including but not limited to the safe relocation of the Anthony family due to escalating threats to their safety and well-being, as well as basic living costs, transportation, counseling, and other security measures. Well, I mean, if your pops is bringing in money, why do you need money from donations for basic living necessities? That doesn't make sense to me, bro.
think that is a new car, and it literally says to move into a new house. So all of that crying was for nothing. I'm sorry you guys are following up with these people, but they're making y'all look stupid. The longer y'all support them, the worse y'all look. And I mean, their lies and everything have been exposed, even by the Frisco Police Department now. Because you see, this little fake activist, Baby Beater, who is, I
He
guess,
called him
representing
baby
Karmelo.
beater, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy. He called him baby beater, bro.
He's been hyping up the fact that Karmelo's family is getting harassed for over a week now. And he said that he had this bombshell evidence that was just going to rock the world. And he released a couple of photos and a couple of videos of Uber Eats drivers delivering pizza to Karmelo's house. And that was the evidence he had. But he's telling everyone that they're receiving these life-threatening, threats, and they're scared for their...
So, hold up. Let me go back and play that again. Listen to this and tell me if this makes sense. Maybe I heard it wrong.
It's going to rock the world. And he released a couple of photos and a couple of videos of Uber Eats drivers delivering pizza to Karmelo's house. And that was the evidence he had. But he's telling everyone that they're receiving these life-threatening, threats, and they're scared for their life. But the Frisco Police Department came out and said straight up, there are no credible threats on Karmelo's life. And not just that, Karmelo's family and his little activist friend, none of them have made a police report at all.
That's crazy. Let's read what it says. It says, the Frisco Police Department told Fox News Digital, our department does not have any reported cases involving the Anthony family being threatened. So you're trying to sit here and tell me that you are using footage from your Ring doorbell of pizza being delivered as evidence of people coming to your house and threatening you. And not only that, but the police comes out and says that they have no records in their police department of y'all filing police reports of people threatening y'all's lives. That's tough. That's tough. This thing is, Charleston White said it, bro. This kid is going to go to prison. And look, their whole case is starting to fall apart. Now, who knows? Something crazy might happen to where he doesn't. But right now, it's looking like this whole thing is falling apart right in front of them, and now they're grasping at straws. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like to me.
Not a single police report, not a single call. So basically, it's all theatrics. They want to go in front of the cameras and say all of this bad stuff is happening to us, but they're not reporting any of it to the police because either it's not happening or they know it's not that serious. I'm sure there's some prank calls happening. Maybe people are ordering pizza to their house, but they live in a gated community, so how are these people even getting to their house unless someone is letting them? So there's a lot of questions there, right? There's a lot of questions there for sure. But there are no questions when it comes to Dominique Alexander, Karmelo's little spokesman. This guy is bad news. And I know a lot of you all don't want to
I love how he calls him his little friend and his little spokesman and all this stuff.
hear it because you're on Karmelo's side. But honestly, look, I don't sympathize with Karmelo, and I really don't like his supporters.
Look, let's see here. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different mug shots, bro. Let me turn this down real quick so y'all can see. Look at that. 10 different mug shots. That is absolutely insane.
But I'll tell you right now, this guy is bad news, and he's a bad look for you all. If you really want what's best for Karmelo, you would want Karmelo and his family to literally detach themselves from this parasite. But I know a lot of you all don't want to hear it from me, so I'll let you all hear it from someone else. But first, people often ask, how can they support the channel? The answer to that question is very simple. You can always send a super community activists in Dallas have created. And let me just say that. So I am sitting here reading the commentary on my last post regarding Karmelo Anthony and the debacle that these community activists in Dallas have created. And let me just say this. I can say with confidence that I truly believe this group of individuals is probably one of the worst things that could have happened to any attorney presenting a defense for a young man accused of such a serious criminal offense. There used to be a time when people would get in trouble and the only person they really wanted to speak to would be an attorney. But now we're living in this era where there are these self-proclaimed community activists who get a hold of families before the family has an opportunity to get a hold of an attorney. And that's where things go bad. I don't fault the family for not knowing how to properly navigate tragedy. I do fault the people who see that and then use that as an opportunity to capitalize and sensationalize issues that should not be at the forefront of this kid's defense.
Yeah, these are y'all's mates, also known as parasites who are looking for clout. These are y'all's mates. Straight up. This dude has no life. He's a bum. His little community activist thing probably failed, and he saw this as an opportunity to try to restart it, knowing that Karmelo Anthony was more than likely going to end up going to prison. He's just trying to be on in front of like the cameras and be on national news or whatever the case may be, statewide news, so that he can get his image out there and get some clout. That's really all it comes down to when it comes to this community activist dude, is he just wants clout.
You know, scandal came out and people do not understand. And their idea. Hey, I'm like I said, maybe Anthony's attorney is slowly unveiling to the public. And if those two things are not congruent, this will be a recipe for disaster. Watch. Like I said, maybe some of you all don't want to take it from me, so maybe you'll take it from her. I don't say these things just to hate. I'm just trying to be real with y'all because I know a lot of other people won't be. And if you're being real when it comes to this Dominique Alexander guy, he doesn't care about Karmelo. He views Karmelo as an opportunity.
All right. So this is an image of Fox News that has this dude Dominique Alexander's criminal record right here. So I'm going to read this. It says, felony injury to a child in 2009, forging a check in 2009, leading police on a high-speed chase 2009, stealing a car, Grand Theft Auto in 2009, falsely claiming that a car was stolen 2009, offensive physical contact 2015, probation violations 2016, felony theft of property from $2,500 to $30,000, which was probably another car, 2016, felony assault causing serious bodily injury 2019, misdemeanor assault 2019, continuance violence against the family 2019, theft, making a false report, and evading arrest. This who y'all got trying to represent y'all in the public? You can't make this up. You can't make this up, bro.
An opportunity to boost his own status, an opportunity to get more clout, to get more attention. And as of right now, it's working. But none of you all can list one positive thing this man has done. He's really come in and he's stirred up a lot of the trouble that we're seeing now in this case. I believe most of the hate that Austin's family is getting, I think most of the hate is because of this guy going up there, playing the race card and playing victim 24/7. He's fueling, this fire, and he's, an agitator, an instigator. And when it's all said and done, when Karmelo's rotting in prison, this guy's going to be long gone. And if you
nobody's going to remember this dude after Karmelo gets put in handcuffs, bro. Let's be real. Nobody's going to remember him.
If you want what's best for Karmelo, it would probably be to try to take some sort of deal if he can get one. But they're going to argue that he shouldn't because it's self-defense. Fight, fight, fight. And then he's going to wind up getting an even harsher sentence. and Dominique Alexander is going to be nowhere to be found, folks. So we'll see how far this goes. I know that Dominique Alexander plans on causing more trouble. He has more tricks up his sleeve because he wants attention, and he's going to get it, and y'all are going to give it to him. Y'all should have nipped this in the bud from the get-go. I don't know why this guy is still around. He's not serving any purpose other than to make things worse for Carmelo. But hey,
That's a fact, bro. That is 100% facts. This whole thing is starting to fall apart, right? In front of their eyes, in front of everybody else's eyes. Y'all don't want to see it because, well, because y'all are extremely biased. You know, and the police report states that they found a knife at the scene of the crime. Y'all are sitting around trying to say it was a cleat sharpener. I don't even know. Let me actually see if cleat sharpener is a real thing because there's a lot of people that are saying that those things aren't even real. So let's look it up real quick. Let's see what they look like. So, based on what I am seeing, the average cleat sharpener would not be able to penetrate somebody's chest deep enough to stab them in the heart. So, that right there alone defeats the whole it was a cleat sharpener thing. Cause like nah, brother, blades like on a cleat sharpener is maybe half an inch, maybe half an inch, which isn't long enough to pierce through the heart. Maybe touch it, maybe poke it, but not to pierce it all the way through and stab somebody in the heart. So this is just another one of those situations where one person was in the wrong. Now they're trying to do absolutely everything they can to prove that they were right, even though they know they were wrong. And if it was self defense, bro, why would you run after doing said crime? Why would why wouldn't you stay there till the police arrived if it really was self defense? I don't know. Maybe the kid had prior um, charges. Maybe he would. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what he had beforehand. If he even had any type of charges on his record at all. If he was on probation or whatever, and maybe that knife would have been he would have been in violation of his probation if he had that knife. I don't know. Just trying to think of different reasons as to why he would have ran away. Because if he really was innocent, he would have stayed there to, clear his name and whatnot. But all of this just screams straight up sus. And you already know when he gets convicted, he goes to prison. BLM is going to start probably tearing down cities and burning and rioting and all this stuff. And if that does happen, I hope Trump calls in the National Guard and puts that all to rest ASAP. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, your mummies, your aunties, your grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. I am out. Deuces.